But no matter how far I went, that damn caricature kept showing up. Twice within the first week as a freshman at KU, he reared his ugly head to remind me that I couldn't escape. That no matter how much intellectual energy I put into my craft, most people would still only see me for what my black athletic body could uniquely do. Navigating the world of sport always felt more intellectual than people made it out to be. And to be honest, I always felt more nuanced than I knew people were conditioned to think of me because I was a black athlete. To be black and an athlete was like living with a double whammy of being dumbed down twice, fetishized for what my body could do on the field, but feared for what it might do off it. At least this is the story the caricature tells. In the first interaction, he showed up in his usual uniform, based on the cultural fear associated with my body. I was driving back to the Jayhawk Towers from the grocery store with one of my homegirls from the track team when I got pulled over by a police officer who was attending to people who had apparently just gotten into a car accident. If that sounds strange, it's because it was. How could I have gotten pulled over by a cop who wasn't driving, but assisting people who might have been hurt? Well, because he left the scene of the accident to walk out in the middle of the street, raised his hand as if to tell me to stop, then walked over to the driver's side window and told me, "I'm going to write you a ticket because your music is too loud." Already having turned my music down, I said to him, "I'm sorry, officer, I didn't know that was a law. I was from Texas where having beats in the trunk was a way of life. I didn't know it was a problem in Lawrence, Kansas." And I was a conscientious kid. My music really wasn't that loud to begin with. But my black Hyundai Sonata with rims was, as was my lack of tint on the front window, which allowed him to see clearly who was driving. It was clear that I wasn't from around there, and probably feeling myself a little too much. He proceeded to flex, telling me repeatedly to turn my music down until it was on 0. I had turned it down as soon as I saw him, then again once he started talking, then I twisted the knob all the way to 0 once it was clear what he was trying to do. He had to make a point. And it was clear to my homegirl as well, who immediately blurted out, "This is bullshit," to which I quickly hushed her because growing up in Texas taught me not to talk back to the police. Yes, sir, and no, sir, only. She was black but grew up in Iowa and had never experienced this firsthand before. It felt familiar to me. He took my driver's license, verified that I had insurance and no warrants, then came back to the car and said, "I've decided I'm going to let you off with a warning this time." He then gave my belongings back and walked back over to the people who were still sitting in shock while waiting for tow trucks and EMS.